Hello my dear students, welcome to Amar Ghare Amar School program. I hope you are all safe and sound at home by the grace of Almighty Allah. You all know that the whole world is passing through a very crucial moment because the whole world has been infected with a deadly virus, COVID-19. In order to keep you safe from this pandemic, your schools are closed. But our government has taken an initiative to bring your classroom at home through Amar Ghare Amar School program so that you can continue studies. In this connection, today I am Mohammad Noor Alam, lecturer in English, have been here before you with a new lesson from your English for Today textbook for class 7. So my dear students, get ready with your EFT book, pen and paper. Okay my dear students, before we start, let's have a look on screen. Here you can see two pictures. Can you guess? Okay, let me give you another cue. Let's watch the video. I hope you have now been able to anticipate what lesson we are going to learn today. Yes, my dear students, you are absolutely right. Today we will discuss Traveling by Train Part 2 from Unit 6 Lesson 5 from your English for Today textbook for class 7. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to ask and answer questions. You will be able to read and understand text. Then you will be able to talk about people, places and events. And finally, you will be able to write paragraph and short composition. At the very beginning, let us learn the key words of this lesson. First, departure. Departure means exit or going. Then, empty. Empty means vacant. After that, print out. Print out means publish. Dear students, we are about to start our text. But before that, I would like to ask you a question. Have you ever looked through the window from a running train? If you have, what did you see? Just write it down, and after the school reopens, you will show it to your teacher. It's gonna be a fun. Okay. So, what do we actually see from a running train? We see a lot of things. Okay. Now let's see the slides and read about a train journey. What we can say here? We see Jisan, Julie and their parents, Mr. and Mrs. Arif Khan, got into a first-class compartment at Kamalapur railway station. Do you know about Kamalapur railway station? Yes, it is the biggest railway station in Bangladesh and which is situated in the capital city Dhaka. It is a crowded place where we see the exit and entry of different trains from different destinations. Okay? It was Dawanganj bound Tista Express. Have you heard the name Tista? Tista is the name of a river. The train left at 8 o'clock. Jisan saw that the departure time on the big timetable at the station was 7:30. So here we see, though the train was supposed to leave the station at 7:30, it started or it left at 8 o'clock. So here we see the train is late by 30 minutes. Here in this slide, we see, however, the train was running quite fast. The children sat by the window beside their parents, and the compartment was half empty. Now, This slide shows that yesterday Julie downloaded a beautiful poem on a train journey by Robert Louis Stevenson. Let me tell you something about Robert Louis Stevenson. He was a famous poet, novelist, and travel writer. He was born on 13th November 1850 in Scotland. His famous works are Treasure Island, Kidnapped. And this poet, travel writer, died on 3rd December 1894. Then she took a printout of the poem. Now, while looking out of the window, she found similarities between the poem and real scenery. She took out the poem and began to read. So dear students, this is all about the text. Hopefully you have understood. So let's check how much we have understood, how much we have comprehended the passage. How would you do that? I will give you a few questions and try to write the answer of these questions. Let's do it together. First of all, were all the seats in the compartment taken? So, what have you seen? We have seen the compartment was half empty. So, we can easily understand that all the seats were not taken. Then, we see the second question. Our second question is, where did Jisan sit? As we have seen in the passage that all the children sat by the window beside their parents, we can easily say that Jisan also sat by the window. Our third question is, where was the train going? As we have seen in the passage that it was Dewanganj bound Tista train. So we can say that the destination of the train was to Dewanganj, or we can say the train was going to Dewanganj. Now, number 4. The question is, did the train leave the station late or on time? We went through the passage and saw that the train started at 8 o'clock, but it was supposed to leave the station at 7:30. So, we can easily understand and we can say that the train was late by 30 minutes. Our next question is, where did Julie get the poem from? As in the description of the text, we saw Julie downloaded the poem. So we can say Julie got the poem internet. And our last question is, what was Julie doing from her seat? We saw Julie was looking out of the train through the window, and she was also reading the poem. So we can say Julie was reading a poem, sitting by the window, and she was also looking out of the train. I hope you have understood and you have been able to answer all the questions correctly, perfectly. My dear students, now we are about to end our class. But before that, let us try once again to remember what we have discussed so far and what we have learned. In our class, we have learned a few new words. Then we talked about a journey. We have learned about train, railway station, timetable, and the way a train moves. Then we have come to know about a poet named Robert Louis Stevenson. At last, we have answered a few questions. Now, it's time for homework. Dear students, this homework is very much important for you because right after your school reopens, you have to submit it to your respective English teachers. And the assessed number will be added to your exam number as continuous assessment. So you can understand how much important it is for you. Your today's homework is given from your textbook, page number 59. My dear students, now let me read out the questions for you and give you some cues so that you can prepare your answer properly, correctly. Okay? Our first question is, who are the parents of Jisan and Julie? You remember? We read the name of the parents of Jisan and Julie at the very beginning of the text. So, try to remember or go back to the passage and see the very first line and you will get the answer. Okay? Our next question is, what was the name of the train? So, just try to remember. The train by which they were making their journey was named after a very famous and big river of Bangladesh. And it was a Dewanganj bound train. So I have given you enough cue and I hope now you can write the answer. You can write the name of the train. Now let's move on to our third question. The third question is, when did the train leave? So, if you try a little, you will get the answer. The train was late by 30 minutes. How did we know? We knew when we saw Jisan saw the time at the timetable at the station and we found it was late by 30 minutes. So, this is very easy for you to get the answer and get the time. Now, my dear students, our fourth question. Our fourth question is, how was the compartment? If you remember, you will see that the compartment was not much crowded. I think you have got the cue and now you're able to write the answer. So my dear students, now we are moving towards our last question. Our last question is, who was the writer of the poem? If you remember, you will see. I talked about it. I read it out from our passage. This man was a Scottish. He was a famous travel writer, novelist and poet. Okay? And he was very famous. So now you can remember. I believe so. So, make all the answers very neat and clean. Write it properly and submit it to your English teacher. Dear students, I'd like to thank you once again for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed the class. And if you have any question regarding this class, or if you feel like watching this class once again, you can like our Facebook page Amar Ghare Amar School, and you can also subscribe to our channel Amar Ghare Amar School. Please follow the instruction of the government to avoid COVID-19. Stay home, stay safe. Goodbye.